I'm Cheree Ramirez, the host of Community Unity by Children's Services Council of Martin County, located at the 10th Street Studio. We are back in studio, and sitting across from me, I have the lead fundraiser and overall winner, Mirrorball Trophy winner, for Dancing with the Martin Stars, Father Christian. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, this is a really cool thing to be a part of. I didn't think this was coming along with the winning the Dancing with the Stars.
Well, it's just kind of an idea that was presented because I love Martin County Healthy Start Coalition. They are one of the agencies that we fund with Martin County taxpayer dollars. And I was a dancer a few years back. So Healthy Start has a little special place in my heart, and we were talking about having them come on after the event to talk about their programs, but we're like, how about we offer it to the lead fundraiser? And I was like, let's go. So here you are.
Yeah. I remember them saying that during like one of the rehearsals. They're like, so whoever wins, I want everyone to mark this on your calendar. And so everyone nervously wrote it in tentatively, being like, I don't know if it'll be me.
Well, thank you so much for saying yes and joining me today. I love being able to share with the community how wonderful it is to live here, first of all. And second, I love to be able to highlight the community partners and the people in the community who are making a difference. So will you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background and why you chose to dance?
So I'm a priest over at St. Mary's Episcopal Church. There's two of us over there, and I think my title is Vicar of the Operations, which is a British term that if you watch PBS shows, you'll hear the vicar term. But I've been there for 8 years, and so I've grown up there as a baby priest, because before in my former life, I was out in Los Angeles working as an actor and also in Chicago. And then the moment happened where the call just became more and more real. I'd been thinking about it my whole life. And then finally it was like, now's the time. And I left for seminary, came here to Stuart because they tried to hire someone else. And then he said, well, I can't take the job. I think I know someone who has the same skill set. And because, in churches, they try to pair you with the right place, and you have this gift set that could be a good gift mix. So been here, and the advantage, I came from big cities, of course, Chicago and LA, that being in a smaller town really allows you to meet all the community partners quickly. And so being able to work with other social service organizations, whether to work with also places like 10th Street. We've done a lot of work with 10th Street where we're here right now. We started doing everything from Bible courses to other community development with a lot of churches in East Stuart. Here at 10th Street, it became this place that we can just meet and congregate and be on the same plane. So it's been great to be able to serve Stuart and Martin County rather easily, because everyone plays well in the sandbox here.
Yeah.
There's no competition.
It's a wonderful community. We really do have wonderful organizations and people who genuinely care about who's sitting next to them. And that's why I do Community Unity, is to highlight those people and to show that we all have the same mission. It's to make tomorrow a better day today,
Yeah.
So I also know that you have a beautiful wife by the name of Anastasia.
That's right.
And she works for Martin County Healthy Start as well.
She does.
Can you tell me a little bit about her role?
Yeah, so she has multiple roles that she plays with, but a lot of it is working with the Mommobile, which is a big deal.
We're so excited.
Yeah, so the Mommobile has been probably, so when I was fundraising for Dancing with the Stars, so since my wife works for the organization, I was voluntold to dance, and I was on sabbatical.
Kind of voluntold to come here.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is totally great. But I was on sabbatical, had the time, and she's like, you got to do this now. But the Mommobile became the chief thing because it really fits what the church tries to be like, which is, and often we fail in, if the folks are not coming to you, you got to go to them. So if the youth are not coming to church, people complain about that. Well, go to the youth, go to the games, go to the rehearsals, without being a creep, but go support them, right? And And so they see a lot of women who are in need of prenatal care.
Yes.
A lot of women who are just in need of maternal care because they have restrictions to insurance, restrictions of no car, just you name the restriction. So they have this 38-foot mom-mobile that's going to drive into areas that are usually marginalized or on the outside looking in and say, we are going to build trust with you, so you trust us. And then you would feel comfortable coming on to this Winnebago to meet with a doula, a medical specialist, and man, I was sold on that. I mean, that kind of work touches my heart. And when you care so much about the community, you're not going to go just hand out flyers and say, you come to us.
Exactly.
No, we are going to put up the money and the staff to go to you and provide care for you.
That's why they're just so innovative in the work that they do. I mean, they have started the doula program, which is funded through CSC. The nurse family visits that they go into the homes and they're walking with the mothers and the fathers and teaching them how to become parents. The David Cardno Fatherhood Initiative, tongue-tied. We had Drew Gray on earlier.
Oh, wow. Big Drew.
One of the earlier episodes to talk about the importance of fatherhood. And there's countless. They have the doula, like I said, I think I already said the doula, but the mom-mobile and just the disparity, going in and working with the nurses and teaching hospitals how to work with everybody.
That is a key one and a delicate topic to take on. So they know how sensitive and delicate you have to be with it, but it's saying there is some cultural literacy issues of not like. What I mean by that is reading. When I walk into the room and I have a person from this cultural background, there is a different approach, and they might not be as willing to say what their pain is, or to be as open about that, or to be a good advocate for themselves because of culture or experiences. And so, how do we be sensitive to that? Because they're just the numbers showing that there has been a disparity in the kind of treatment.
There might even be some language barriers.
And yes.
And that's why it's been really important for the doulas. And I believe there's I think 6 different languages that are spoken with the doulas. Yeah. And they're the ones who are going in with the doctor, speaking to the doctors and helping be the advocate for the people who are not able to speak for themselves. So I know our producer, Angel, his wife, Indy, is a doula for Martin County Healthy Start Coalition.
Shout out to Indy.
Yes. So doing tremendous work in the community, literally for our future.
Yeah, and responding to numbers. You see these numbers that were really off, that there were certain groups of people who the infant mortality rate or even the risk of the mother losing her life was at like 50% of having a situation, and that was definitely, it was very different for women of color. So what does that mean? Well, it's there, so let's approach that, let's look at it, and there could be lots of different factors, but let's just go ahead first and start talking about it and looking at it and change that reality.
Exactly. And Healthy Start is doing that. And I know that that's near and dear to your heart, not only because of Anastasia, but because of Madison's Miracles. Yeah. And I know it's tough to talk about things like this because personally I know it as well. Yeah. But would you share that story as to why you decided to dance personally?
Sure. A few years ago, we lost our baby girl, Aria, to stillbirth. So she was our second child. And as you know, you go to the doctor and then they are looking intently at the screen for one too many minutes. And then you get moved to another room and then meet a specialist and then you get the news. And so we approached our relationship with Aria a little differently. A lot of times people go, once we found out that she had this random abnormality where she wasn't going to survive over a week, that when she passed, we stayed with her. We didn't give birth right away. Or I shouldn't say my wife didn't, because we really wanted to do all the things with her that we did with our son and later with our third child. And so took pictures, all those things. So it really became this very sacred time. And then Madison's Miracles was this wonderful organization that was just there in the hospital room when it came time for us to give birth. And I keep on saying we, my wife, obviously, because it's a whole other journey for the woman, as you know, and they had the grief care, which was free. They had they will cover your funeral costs. They will cover also. They offered the
Cuddle cot.
the cuddle cot was just a gift from God because we were all in our feelings, so we wanted to hang out with Aria as much as possible. I understand some people are like, you know what, I'm good. So this cuddle cot allowed us to really spend a good amount of time with Aria, sleep next to her, and then have the time to be able to say goodbye in a more organic, sacred time. And then we also had her baptized, and a priest came in, and we had a baptism. And I know that's theologically all over the map, but it doesn't matter at that point. It's just what is the right thing pastorally, and that was our baby girl. And so we got to offer God's blessing upon her. So Madison's Miracles allowed for all that to happen. So then they fell under the umbrella of Healthy Start, and so Healthy Start's just hitting on all cylinders at all different ranges of the motherhood process.
Yes, exactly, from beginning to end, and throughout the developmental stages of the child as well. So thank you so much for sharing your story and for sharing it through the Dancing with the Martin Stars event. I didn't know that about you guys, and I was like, man, that's really a wonderful reason to dance, and you dedicated it to Aria. And your dance with so much joy. Can you tell me about your dance?
Well, I really want to do, I come from the nightclub world in Los Angeles, so I really wanted to do like a mixture of like a nightclub techno mixed in with more ballroom music.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, so she didn't go for the nightclub thing at all. So she settled on Andy Grammer and a song called Joy. And at the time, I was having a rough go during my sabbatical because I was not doing well with not working. And so I was going through my own process of learning what it's like to just do nothing. And so I was struggling with joy.
Me still.
Right? Exactly. And so joy just seemed like it was the right thing to do. I fought around it for a while, but then it just was obvious. And then we knew we could have this story. Andy Grammer tells a beautiful story in that song of saying he's gone through sorrow, he's gone through grief, he's gone through loss, he's gone through doubt and fear. And then he has this beautiful woman, and they have beautiful children. And so in it all, hopefully, in life, your goal, and I think as people of faith, we try that you have joy, not happiness, but joy at the cornerstone. So no matter what you're going through, there's always this you can't take away my joy, no matter how dark it gets. And so that was the story of the song, and he talks about loss. And so for me, that was the loss of Aria. And I thank God that I was literally again, theologically all over the map here, but I was praying to Aria before I went on, because that day I was blanking on the choreography. I was in my partner Daisy was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what's next." And so I was like, "I'm just tired. Maybe I'm nervous." Went home, took a nap, and came back. And then backstage was like, "Come on, Aria, we gotta do this. Gotta do this right." And fortunately, I remembered everything.
And you guys killed it.
Thank you.
It was so much fun to watch, and I didn't get to be at the Lyric this year. This is the first time I wasn't at the Lyric, because you guys all did an outstanding job raising money, and so those seats were all for sponsors. But I was at St. Mary's.
Oh, yay!
With the watch party.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great.
And everyone there had your face.
Oh gosh.
You know, there was a lot of other people there too, but like in the space where I was, it was all Father Christian.
Oh boy. Home turf. Yeah, home turf.
It was really wonderful, and if you're watching, you get to see some of the clips. But if you are listening, go to our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see some of the clips from his dance. So. Do you have it shared anywhere else?
Well, I know that they will be sharing it soon on their YouTube channel. So the Martin County Healthy Start.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's going to be posted soon. You can watch the whole thing.
So I'll get that link, and I'll put that in the description box then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Am I allowed to pick this up like this? And I can sit here like this, or no?
If you want
okay,
to,
cool.
Maybe.
We'll feel more relaxed.
Yeah. Just as long as
yeah, I'm visible.
I love it. You're comfortable. Well, tell me, were you in anything that I would have recognized you in, like for credits, for movie credits, or?
Maybe. The one thing that gets me credibility with the youth group is iCarly. So I did.
You were in
Yeah, I was in
iCarly?
iCarly. I did a solid episode of one episode of iCarly, and that it was where Sam meets her mom, and so people will, when kids find out about that, because I guess I had a resurgence that show. Because I shot that a while ago, but I mean, I was like a blue collar actor. So if you were a total nut over some of these shows, you might remember me. But like Will and Grace and Young and the Restless and the Castle and Accidentally on Purpose, Melissa and Joey. Like you just build all these sitcoms and you get these roles on there and you piece it all together while piecing together theater and commercials, and you just do everything you can. And you get rid of your day job, and it was a great time. It was a great life.
How did you meet Anastasia?
God, no. So I'll put this mic back. It really was. It's a very sacred story. How we met. So
if you don't mind me.
No, that's fine. I was in seminary. Some people call it cemetery, but I was in seminary in D.C. And then my stepfather, my mother lived up in Jersey with my stepfather, and he got sick, and so I could drive home, which was great because I was going to stay at a seminary actually in Los Angeles, but God had it that I would move to D.C., drive home to see my mom, and then when my stepfather was sick in the hospital, I would go up there and visit. So while he was in the hospital, in ICU, which would turn out to be his deathbed, his nurse, he kept on pitching his son. Never called me a son to my face. His son, he said, "You have to meet my son." And my stepfather was much older, so she didn't take it. She would laugh at him because she thought I would be like this old guy too. And then finally when I showed up, my mom and my stepfather were trying to pair us together because they knew we know Christian's going to like this girl. She was strong. She was independent. She's just, she's kind of fierce. And they knew that she would be a good match for me and that extremely attractive. One thing they didn't expect, though, is that I was not going to do anything in these circumstances. And then Anastasia wasn't either because that's unethical. So as your patient's son. So my mom lied and told Anastasia that I asked for her number. Anastasia, by, again, another act of a miracle, actually gave her number to my mom, which she never does. And so I called her, and my mom gave me this. She said, look what I got. I got Anastasia's number. You should call her. And I kept on pushing it. I was like, guys, this is so inappropriate. But I called her in the day that we were going to have lunch in the cafeteria, or coffee in the hospital cafeteria. My stepfather actually did pass. And then she was one of the first people, outside the family who kind of walked down the hallway with me, and she was so present with me, and I can always still remember that moment. And she had gorgeous eyes, and she just stayed so present with me. And our first couple dates were like the funeral.
Oh, wow.
Coming over to the house with my mom and having a steak with us. They were like dates with my mom. And because they started to get along well.
That's so supportive.
I know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. It slowed everything down. And then I went back to seminary, and we started this long distance relationship, and stayed very slow. And we had really good adult talks about what we were looking for in life. And it was probably the most mature adult relationship, that ever for either one of us.
Yeah.
And we took it nice and slow. And 4 years later, we were married.
That's awesome. Well, and you guys are so cute. I love going to some of the seminars that Healthy Start puts on, and you'll have your children there, and they're just adorable. So such a beautiful family.
Oh, thank you.
And then to be voluntold to be a dancer.
Yeah, she knew that it would be a good outlet for me, and she was right. And so my background is being an artist, and so to be able to express yourself in dance, whether it's dance, acting, whatever, is all a joy. And she was right. It was incredible. It was a great outlet to dance twice a week. And Daisy was a great partner and choreographer and very patient.
And to raise close to $111,000 just by yourself, that's outstanding.
Thank you.
I have no words.
Well, we were talking before we went on camera about if you kind of expect the priest, the two people who were Sue Ennington and I go back and forth. She's a financial consultant, I'm a priest. And so you would hope that the priest who is in this position of servant leadership, and part of your job is to raise money for the church. And I know it's unfortunately I have a boss who said it's okay for me to do that. Some other might have
Yeah.
been like that. That's going to take out of our coffers.
Yeah.
Because I was calling a lot of our parishioners too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thankfully the parishioners are very generous, and Healthy Start's not a hard sell. Too.
No, it's not. I mean, with all the programs and just the initiatives and the missions and the people behind everything that they're doing, and they're just so wonderful. Again, I love Healthy Start. I have a special place in my heart for Healthy Start.
Of course you do. Yes.
Dance in 2018. Dance was kind of forced into 2021 for the 10-year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
But I had an amazing partner, Rachel. She is with Hope Sound Community Chest, so another funder in the community.
Okay.
And we had fun dancing. It was definitely an experience, not one that I thought I would ever do again, but
it was fun. I mean,
it was fun.
The judges were cool. I mean, the whole experience is so much fun because the whole community shows up, and you have all these different community leaders who are realtors, financial folks, and dancers, and there's no competition because we're all on team mother,
Healthy
baby,
Start,
father.
yeah.
We're all there to support Healthy Start. So backstage is nothing but joy. On the text messages is nothing but joy and support. Oh my gosh, you scored that, donation. You scored that donation. Sue and I are having a fun competition. The rabbi's getting in on it. And it's just, and then you get to the day and everyone's going, like, the crowd is going nuts and they're excited. And it's just like, go Stuart, like, go Martin County. Like, it's just, look what we can do when we're all together as a team.
Exactly.
And we're all on the same page. And it doesn't matter if you're right or left or progressive or conservative. It's like, let's just do good work. It's like a taste of heaven where everyone is on the same page, focused on the same goal. And it doesn't matter where you stand on these different policies. It's just about
community unity.
That's right. It's so possible. And
Yeah.
then you build a unity, and this is what we try to do within the work that we've done with like nonviolent communication and other stuff in the community, which is build the trust, build the relationship. So I just see you as a human being. Then we can have the hard conversations.
Exactly.
Then we can talk about pro-life, pro-choice. We can talk about gay, straight. We can talk about Trump, Biden, whoever. We can do that. But first, we need, I'm not talking years. We need time to love each other as human beings.
Yes.
Because you're no longer now this person who just has a different view from me. You're my friend. You're a fellow parent.
That's the meeting people where they're at and walking with them. And that's what we try to do by funding these organizations, is helping them out of those cycles and those of generational poverty or abuse or whatever it is. Like CSC, we love to be able to go into those gaps and meeting those programs and those providers who are servicing those people in those gaps and give them the funds and the resources that they need so they can be successful in that. And it's just so important to meet people where they're at in that loving, kind way and just care.
And I think that's the challenge too of you and I both serve a pretty affluent community. But in that affluence though, there is folks
The
though
opposite.
who, yes. And so how do we stick up or advocate? And so they don't get left behind.
Exactly.
Because that is our responsibility as community leaders, is to make sure that they don't keep on getting pushed out, because that's going to be the pattern in a lot of places in the States right now as all the prices go up,
Exactly.
is that they get pushed out further and further and further. So obviously there's a humane aspect to that doesn't work, but then you lose the character of a society when it becomes homogenous, when everyone's in the same tax bracket, when everyone's not getting served the same way. You lose the working class, you lose the lower class, you lose all the people with grit and determination, you lose all the diversity of thought and people and culture. So it's important work, and it takes, as you know better than anyone, when you're in the gap, and a lot of times you're serving people who have a very different background than you, your job is just to listen. Just say, what do you need, and help me learn from you. And it's, servant leadership. It's an awesome thing, but it takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of listening.
And creating the resources and the transparency. That's why I do what I do. Is creating transparency so that people who don't know that these are issues can see them.
Yes.
And be able to ask themselves, how can I help? What can I do to be able to help serve and serve an attitude? It's leading in that way, and then for those families who may not know about the services and are going through it, to be able to be that resource for them, so that there's just a whole mission of like love behind it, and caring. So that's why I do what I do.
It's great. And you said awareness, and the more that people are aware that this is happening in our community. I mean, listen, St. Mary's is an affluent place. When there were people, when we really started to spell out and tell the stories of what Family Promise, another great partner in our community, is up to, they had no idea. A lot of people, who would know how many homeless families there are in Martin County?
It's crazy. And you never know who you're sitting next to who has really experienced that.
And homeless could be you sleeping on someone's couch, sleeping in your car, sleeping in a hotel. It doesn't mean you're just out in the woods behind Walmart. That too. And so they're like, wow. And then that gets people excited to say, well, I want to stop that. And we had a woman walk in our office say, I got $250,000 of stock. I want that going towards affordable housing. Right? Okay. And so that's our job now as a church, to say, how do we find the best place? Unfortunately, it's very hard to find housing for $250,000, but we'll pair with someone else.
Turning it into these different initiatives. I've had House of Hope on here, and he's part of the initiative for affordable housing and finding that in partners with Family Promise. You have so many different, like Madeline over there.
Madeline's an angel.
She is.
She should be canonized tomorrow.
She is absolutely wonderful.
Rob Ranieri. I mean, these are incredible leaders of the community.
Leaders in the community.
Bob
who see it, exactly, with Project Lift, and he has to come on still.
Bob, what are you doing? Bob, stop it. And I still want you to support me in my dancing, even though it's over. You can cut that out. It's fine. Or not. No. Shame him. Shame him.
No. Bob, you're going to be coming on here shortly,
Bob,
okay?
You're my hero. You're my hero, Bob. I love everything you do. And so does the U.S. government. That's why they gave you $5 million. Remember that? That was amazing.
That's a great team of grant writers right there. I mean, and just the mission and everything that they're doing. You know, they just received additional funds.
More?
From CSC.
Okay. People just rain money on, but because they have such good results.
Exactly. Yeah. So
the proof is in the pudding.
They have their high school diploma, their pathways that they do. So we just decided in this last RFP that they were going to get some funding for that as well.
They deserve every penny. They do incredible work, and they have so much to show for it, and it's so easy to want to give to them.
Exactly. So thank you for the work that you're doing, and coming alongside people and organizations, and being the leader that you are in the community, because we need more people like you.
The hope is that it could be a catalyst, and we try to work with about 4 main partners every year and try to see where's the biggest heartbreak that's going on in community. And then that matches the heartbreak of the people who was in our community of St. Mary's. And then also, how are we building bridges with communities that don't look like us? And so that's important, because we grow. From a faith perspective, you grow so much. If you're just sharing your faith with people who look, think, talk, vote, act like you, I think there's a limitation of where the Spirit is moving. But when you really broaden it, it's a taste of heaven. It really opens your mind, and it's beautiful, and there's so much joy that comes from that. So that's, I guess the technical term would be missional. You're just trying to go out of your comfort zone, and you learn so much and find places where hopefully we can be of service and help.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for that, and thank you for joining me today. We love to have more interactions with you, so let's see how we can partner in the future.
Let's do it.
Because now that I know that you do all these other things, I'm going to be calling you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it. So it's CSCMC.
Yeah, so Children's Services Council of Martin County.
CSCMC.
Or just CSC.
I should have done that as a warm-up for my one-man show backstage. CSCMC.
And also, since you brought it up, just real quickly, the one-man show, are you doing any additional shows?
Yeah, hopefully soon. We're in talks with a couple churches to see if we can pair it with some fundraising. And so I have a website, if it's okay to say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
JesusWasNotADoorman.com, and it's a show just about dealing with a 25-year-old kid who's working in the nightclub, who's trying to follow his faith, but also dealing with the worlds of temptation, and how do you realistically do that? And so I hope that the show can be of help to I think we can all identify with that, that we are
Yeah.
trying to walk a different way with our values, but the world there can be a lot of curiosity
Yes.
and other things that can pull us in different directions. And so how do you authentically be yourself and stand into those values?
Well, I think that sounds wonderful. And it's Jesus was not a doorman?
Yeah, because I was a Hollywood nightclub doorman.
Okay, so
Yeah.
JesusWasNotADoorman.com.
Yeah.
That will be in our description notes.
Great. Awesome.
And thank you. And you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to Community Unity. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Share our information with friends and family to help spread the information on life-changing programs funded by CSCMC, made possible by the homeowners of Martin County.